Welcome to Kill Team Casuals, a podcast all about Kill Team filmed in 3 different time zones by 3 different gents. Enjoy.
All right.
Raw and unfiltered.
This is going to be the casuals tier list. I like to look at this for me, when this is done, it is a combination of teams that are good, but also I always put into a little bit of teams that are fun and easy to play, because there might be a team that might be really, really good, but they've got a lot of tech to them. And for me, that might mean they get a little bit of a hit on the finger, like naughty.
I feel like we had at one point access to facial hair is one of the
that was one of the tiers. That was one of the tier.
Access to facial hair.
What was S should be?
Oh, S was we had the scale of Momoan.
That's
so
right.
S was Stargate.
Stargate.
A was Aquaman.
Yep.
B was B was.
What was B?
What's B?
Better.
C is obviously Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Is it 2 N?
B.
No. And D was. Was it Khal Drogo?
No.
Oh yeah, it was definitely. It wasn't Drogo. I'll find out. I'll do some research.
It should have just been films that he was in, presumably. He was bad guy from James Bond movie.
The Dast and the Durius.
Oh yeah, that should be there, shouldn't it?
B was the bad guy from James Bond movies, Papa Kraken said.
Oh, B was Baywatch. Baywatch.
Was he in Baywatch?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
Then D is Dune. Yeah, D is Dune.
Dune. There we go.
There we go.
So these actually mean nothing.
They
and
mean
it's still
nothing. We know what they mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stargate is still S tier. That might be legit. Aquaman, to be fair, in the box office, it probably is. Baywatch.
Oh.
No. Yeah. Oh. Baywatch.
Yeah. You drowned. I got you.
Like that.
All right. And
yeah, we don't really know it.
Apart from the Momoans, another thing to note, we won't do Compendium just because it'll add another 6 weeks to it. But also, so they're Shadow Realmed, as well as any of the teams that have been replaced. So,
yeah. So just for the sake of clarity, because I have none right now,
please.
This is our tier list. Now, the grading system makes perfect sense to me.
Good.
But so are we doing this as a power level tier list with just like a little hint of chaos, which is our way, or are we doing it like best for casuals? Like, yeah, I imagine power level plus our level of chaos. Is that what we're aiming for?
I'm open to either. Yes, as long as we feel confident to talk about. Yeah, I think if we just say power levels, not our ability to play with them. Deep fatty alphabetically.
Yeah, just list the teams.
we you know what? And
I love that.
We'd get it wrong.
Let's just list the teams.
How funny would that be if we just did that and didn't say anything and just wait until people catch on? It's like S tier, Adeptus Sororitas, the compendium team.
Yep, straight
wow. The
All
RBTs, really interesting.
So
okay.
this will be interesting because the first few teams I think too will help us set a bit of a baseline of the power levels as well. So we'll feel it out. We'll work it out, and we can always go back and shuffle as we progress. Because at the end of the day, most people are just going to
a trout.
Most people are just going to skip to the end of the video when the tier list is done.
Anyways,
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I would suggest that we start with the finished tier list, but obviously we can't.
Backwards.
That's the sad thing. We can't get there.
Awesome. All right. That's it. We're going power level with our own touch of chaos. And then if we then find there's 2 teams that are dangerously close, the tiebreaker could be accessibility. How does that sound?
Oh, wow. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. So that's like, if we've got 2 teams that we're not quite sure how to separate them. We think they're very close in terms of power level. They're access to facial hair. We then go, but which one is easier to play?
Sure.
Oh, that kind of. I thought you were talking about like wheelchair bound or something like that. Okay, that kind of accessibility. Okay, we'll go for that then.
And then Russ, that can be the third tier of accessibility.
Third tier.
If we need it, a tiebreaker for the tiebreak. First up, lads, we're going to start way back in Octarius. We're going back in time. It's the Veteran Guard.
The VG.
The VGs, the original OG VGs.
Yeah.
OGVGs.
These
Give
guys,
me the
This is a weird
heebie-jeebies.
one. This is a weird one because I haven't played them since the nerf, but it seems like the nerf was Vetguard players definitely seem to think it was a very significant nerf. I think it was a significant nerf.
Yeah.
But I before I would put them S tier. I don't think I'd put them S tier anymore.
Yeah, well, they're still sitting, and this is, I was bragging to the boys, I've brought up stats from other people's channels, so thank you everyone else for doing the actual legwork, but I've got some stats here. They're sitting at around just over 50% win rate still, if that means anything to us, which I think is about right.
I think we're hitting Baywatch Aquaman with above 50% win rate.
Yes.
I agree. I think we put him in Aquaman and maybe low Aquaman. We'll see. We reserve the right to change it, but I agree.
We're thinking like deleted scene with Amber Heard Aquaman.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's that thing.
And so still a great team.
Because they've been around for so long too, and there's now so many options. I think the thing is too, a lot of the top players probably aren't playing them as much now too. They're not getting the love because there's so many new shiny objects.
For sure.
So I think that's probably reflected a little bit in their win rates as well. So I was going to say,
I imagine a team that's been around long enough, people kind of the negative to them is that a lot of people have played against them a bunch.
Yes.
I imagine people know how. Yeah, learn the tricks, but they've got quite a lot of tricks, and the problem is having access to 4 gunners. Is that kind of and GA2 if you can set up your gunner next to the dude, they're still gonna steamroll a few teams quite comfortably, and a few unexperienced players, regardless of the team, could easily get rolled by the Vet Guard,
especially
the OGVGs.
Getting into the old trading models with them, with those.
Oh yeah, I mean
that's it. Like no one does it better. Than the old.
Are they still the biggest team? Are they still the team with the most activations if they take the 4 extra? Possibly.
Yeah, I don't think
they're
anyone
still
else.
The biggest team.
What about Colts? Colts once they're at the start of the game have like
they're all so GA2.
They have all GA2
Yeah.
So it's mainly GA2, so they don't have the same, I don't think.
There you go. All right. Well, hey guys, well done. Great start. Really, really appreciate it.
Lovely. Yeah, they're a great team.
Flying out of the gates. Now on to one of Ben's personal favorites. It's the Commandos.
Are we just going down the line?
Yeah,
Commandos S tier. Easy. S tier. They're still incredible. S tier. It's not even a conversation. They are still S tier. They're
straight
excellent.
to the Stargate.
They're a little bit.
Wow.
They're a little bit better to play than they used to play against than they used to, but they play the game way too efficiently. They have you see top level players use them, and they have the bomb squig. They don't even use it. It's just like an extra activation. Like any other team would sacrifice their brother for a bomb squig on their team. And top level players just don't even use it. It's I'll just pass with this guy. And
I've just got it.
S tier for sure. Yeah. Just a scratch. It feels better, but they still have some just incredible tech. So S tier for sure.
Mabase has just said Parthies and Blooded also have 12 activations too, so pretty close with the
Is it the same? Is it the same?
I think Commandos, but again, interesting that there is still definitely a lot more people playing them. They've obviously been hit with the changes in nerf bat and boost bat a lot more than the Guard, which is interesting. But
I think Orcs are just more popular.
Yeah, that helps
as a team.
Yeah,
Krieg, I think when Krieg first came out, everyone was like, oh my god, Krieg. And a lot of people are like, there's so many Guard, but there's only one Commando team. There's so many, I don't know, so many human teams where the Orcs still feel in a nice area where they got a decent amount of activations, a decent amount of wounds. Charge Conceal means they're always a threat because it doesn't matter. If you push too far forward against them turn 1, they can charge. Whereas most teams, if they're hiding, can't do anything. Yeah, they've got some great, and they're going to be up close because they've got that whole tactic. So they're going to be any team that has the redeploy dash, which obviously Vet Guard has, which is super strong. Those teams, they've got such a great start to the game. Yeah, because you can just push out onto those loot. You've got an inherent bonus because you've got that extra dash with. I think it's still a great team.
I think it's I think, Russ, you'd also agree that the bomb squig's still underrated.
I was going to say.
You've been called out in the chat by Drone.
I saw that comment from Drone. I was like, I have to agree. Having lost, you know what? Just watch the most recent video. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I've got a video in a battle report against commandos, and I play terribly into them, and I suffer the consequences. You know what? You know when it's just late and you're not fully doing stuff, and yeah, full respect to the bomb swig. He's still got some moves. You can't just ignore him. You can't. You definitely can't.
I'll have to watch. I'll have to check this out. I haven't seen this.
Don't watch my shame. It's the most public I've been shamed in a long time.
Just after this conversation, it couldn't be more appropriate. All right, move on to the next one.
Lovely.
It
didn't happen, Echo. It didn't happen. That's someone else, some other dude, not me.
Yeah, definitely. This is a team that I hear a lot, but I reckon I've played them once and maybe played against them once. It's the Adeptus Mechanicus. It's the Hunter Clade. But they're an interesting team because, again, they've moved up and down. They were very good at one point, really oppressive, some would say, but then they've gone backwards and forwards and up and down. And I haven't really heard much about them for a while, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, I still think they're pretty good.
I was going to say, I think so. They feel like they're a team that has, in a world where there's so many teams that don't have options, they're a team that still has options. They sort of feel like a vet guard with different tricks. Like they can bring real powerful guns, but they've also got like access to stopping rerolls, so that they can kind of, if played in a certain way, they can take stuff that neutralizes melee units, so you can space out those rad leg dudes so you're injured if you're charging them, and then you space out the reroll blockers, and suddenly you've got relentless guys charging in not being as effective as they should be because they're hit with injured and now they're not getting their rerolls. So you got real access to a whole bunch of stuff that can just kind of neutralize certain tactics again, and have got big guns, can do a bunch of tricks. I still think they're probably the rest of this. Yeah, I think they're probably still a solid Aquaman.
I agree.
I think I agree. I think they're still a solid. I don't know what their win rates would look like if maybe Reese is finished with win rates. He can give us, and then we can see how wrong we are saying that they're Aquaman.
Guys, that's what I spent the last few seconds doing, was just getting things to be like, actually, guys, I'll have you know, no
20% win rate.
They're actually not bad. There's a Hunter, I think 47.8%.
Oh,
yeah, that puts you up in Aquaman tier.
Okay.
Yeah,
I say put them before Vet Guard.
Okay,
better than okay. I mean, I think they suffer from a little bit of, and I might be wrong. This is me saying this purely based off my emotions, but I think it's also a popularity thing. I don't think they don't appear to be as popular. You don't seem to see this team as much.
I agree.
I don't think it reflects.
Yeah, that's true.
How good they actually are. I just think maybe that's people don't like the models, or people aren't into the team. But I think definitely
a team with a great amount of build
above our. There we go. Above our vet guard friends. I mean, they're humans with robot parts. They have to be better. That's rules are ruled.
They kind of should be. I mean, you've got the bionic arm and the vet guard, and he's arguably their best mini. Exactly. You know what I mean? So if you add more bits on, presumably, but then do you lose the soul?
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? Is that what Kill Team's about?
Exactly. More soul.
It's not.
That's another part we need to add into our rating system. How much soul they have, how much gumption.
Soulality.
A bit of moxie.
I think that's what they call it. Yeah. Moxie was definitely one of the criteria we had last time.
Moxie's good.
Moxie. And you know what? Hunter Clade, they must be so low on Moxie. If you're talking about a bunch of
negative Moxie,
being like, let's hang out. What'd you get up to? That's going to be...
I recharged.
You know what I mean? A lot of,
It's like hanging out with a bunch of Magic the Gathering players is what I imagine.
Wow, shots. He's taken out the transuranic arquebus and shots fired. That's right.
You heard it, right?
They do. You know what? They're up there in the horribly named equipment / operative / weapons list, though.
Yes.
Them and Pathfinders. Pathfinders win with that one dude that's just like, I can see you. And he's got the name that, I mean... You know what I mean? It's just a terrible name. I can't even say what it is. I don't even know.
That's how upset you are.
Anyway, carry on. That's how upset I am. No, I just forget it every time.
All right, next up. This is a very interesting one. Papa Kraken in the chat, you'll be loving this. It is the Warp Coven. The team that Games Workshop seems to want to do good, but in the most confusing way possible.
Yeah. So recently got some major buffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have. Do we all want to just 1, 2, 3 say where we think they belong?
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
This is going to be pure.
Yeah, just on gut here, because I feel like I know. So here, 1, 2, 3. Baywatch.
Baywatch. Okay.
Baywatch boys.
Get out of here, Russ. Get out
Slow
of here.
run.
Yeah.
Russ on the
They're
delay.
just okay, right?
Yeah. I think the changes have finally.
That's Steve Austin. That's a $6 million man.
Shit,
Which shows how much I know.
He's doing the
I've never
Baywatch
seen
run.
this bull crap.
The chat did a better job of hitting that on the 3, 2, 1 than you did, Russ. By the way, they were.
There you go. Did they?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. So we're saying Baywatch.
Sandal says Russ waiting to see where everyone else went.
I thought I said it. There's a delay, folks. There's a delay that you can't see. I said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think even after all their buffs, I think it was a big help, because I think they used to be in like the C to D-ish range. So it's a big bump, but I don't think you're going to see, because I think part of the Stargate tier is like, who are we going to see win tournaments?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see white dwarfs. I don't think we're going to see.
We're not going to see the White Suns.
Warp Coven. Yeah, we're not going to see whatever this faction is called, Thousand Suns, win tournaments. So
I think it's a little bit what I was saying too. The benefit of them with their upgrades still doesn't change the core mechanics of the team being quite clunky and quite difficult. And that's something we've spoke about this team for a lot. They're really fun, but you've just the mental load and everything you need to know on top of now adding in all those changes as well, although they've made them better. There's just a lot to remember and a lot to have to line up, and a lot like sorcerers with 4 different bits and pieces added to them. And a great team in theory. I have played them before, but I just think the work versus the benefit is a bit high.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think I had to Baywatch them just because I haven't kept up to date with all the changes, and they still don't. I haven't seen a lot of them at tournaments since to know.
Yeah.
They look like they've got a lot, and it looks like it's good, all good stuff for them. But yeah, I'm not too sure, because everyone was like they were scraping the bottom of like a worm's belly in Dune. Like they were the rung below.
Yeah.
So Baywatch is an app two tiers up. If this is, and this is maybe soft rating, they might be A tier for all we know. If we see them come out strong in quarter 2, you know what I mean? Like we're in quarter 2. Yeah, the start. We might see quarter 2 change if they start getting a bunch of play. Like they've got. I mean, it's hard to forget that they're almost entirely AP1. Like AP1 Flamers, AP1 Bolters.
Yeah.
Like someone's got to be able to put that together to obliterate elites. And it can't hurt against non-elites to have like an AP. But like AP1's just nice. They're slow, but they can make you slow, and they can speed up if they synergize. But I think it's one of those teams where you are just so reliant on making sure everything goes off well.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
It must be a hard team to play. I wouldn't be able to play him because you've got to position. I'd be too much like, I want him to go over there and attack you, and then it's like, but he's out of position now, and I'm like, all these guys are now slow because I'm just like, too much.
Yeah.
But someone's got to be able to put that together.
Yeah, I just don't think they have the sauce. I don't think it's there.
You think they don't? There's no sauce.
Yeah, I think
no sauce.
Yeah, I think the sauce is a little bit, as the kids would say, a little mid. I think the sauce is a little bit mid.
Mid sauce.
So
okay.
Yeah, mid sauce. Yeah.
Glad we're hitting that younger demographic now. Well done.
That's my opinion.
Keeping us
I would love, because like, man, I love all varieties of Chaos Space Marines. And like we've talked about it before, like trying to make it work. We even rolled out the dice. We're like, and it just like totally fell flat. Like live on air. Like I want them to be good. I just
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
to be fair,
if this is a casual list,
yeah, that is true.
Bottom.
I guess
they'd almost be bottom because it's still. I
think Baywatch is very respectable. Like every team that goes in Baywatch, I think is very respectable. And you're a total Chad and a champion if you are if you love a Baywatch team, perfectly balanced as all things are, because this tier list is gospel truth. Obviously. So to be a Baywatch babe is where we all should hope and aspire to be. So
that's it. Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. Being in Baywatch doesn't mean you're a bad team. It means it probably is like, well, you're about where you want. You're that mid tier. You can be good in the hands of a good player. You're still okay to play for a newbie. And that's it. The other ones that are above that are obviously they've got the sauce, as Ben would say.
Yeah. Well, Baywatch is aspirational. That's we all want to be in the Baywatch universe. That's why it's that one. Aquaman, there's a lot of pressure. Heavy is the crown and all that. So that's
heavy is the head.
You really got to want it. Stargate's obviously in a league of its own.
Yes.
Conan, you don't want to be in that world. There's there's snake ladies that'll kill you. You get a sword in the face. And Dune, as an Anakin sympathizer, I don't like sand.
Yeah, sand.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's the worst.
Don't get me started.
So coarse. I've always said that. I've always said it's too coarse.
I think this tier list explains itself pretty
everywhere.
Well. I'm embarrassed that we just had to go through it.
You're the problem. Yeah. Actually, it is embarrassing. Yeah. So I think we should pivot hard, and I'm throwing a wrench. Talking about all these good teams, let's pivot to a D tier, a Dune tier team. I say let's set the bar low. Just so we have a frame of reference.
You want to cherry pick
a baseline.
I do. If I could go off script here, let's set the baseline. Yes, Kroot. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Let's go Kroot and set the baseline for the worst team in the game right now.
Wow.
So
do you think it is Kroot?
I do. I do. I think it's Kroot.
I'm trying to look around. For a worst.
What would be your worst team?
Easily, a little while ago, I probably would have felt very comfortable saying that it was maybe what coming, as we were just saying. But now I'm like, now I can tell you statistically who's the worst, and I tell
Let's
you what.
start with that.
Yeah.
Blades of Cain.
Statistically, the worst is Kroot.
Oh, really? It is as well. Oh, my lord.
This is obviously going off the Q1 2024 Goonhammer metrics. There is what I'm using, just for reference if anyone wants to dive into those numbers.
Kroot, but
that has them at 38.98%.
Oh, that's just disrespectful.
In need of help.
Interestingly enough, they did get stuff from the latest, they did get a boost. So it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, maybe that hasn't had time to.
Well, they got a sideways boost, didn't they?
Yeah.
A side swipe with the GA2, and it was like some people want it to be GA2, some people want GA1. Damn right, Sandy. They need a Krutox.
Yes.
Still.
Yeah. So they got
Give them the Krutox.
They got the Kill Broker, the Operative Ritual Blade, got an extra attack. It's got one to the attack characteristic. The Stalker Operative also adds one to the attack characteristic.
It's all jokes.
Hounds.
It's all a joke.
GA to GA1, and the Tracker Operative marked from the hunt and from above active. That operative can perform these actions while with engage of a friendly operative instead of Pentagon. So basically opening those up. So yeah, nothing.
There must be a bad matchup into Kroot.
Get those Kroot into Arrakis. Ship them off to Arrakis right now. Put them in D. You Kroot apologists, throw them in D.
Who has a bad matchup into Kroot? There must be a team that just worries about that matchup.
Yeah.
I don't know who it would be, but someone must.
There you go. Norwich Kill Team started writing how bad the Fast Stalkers were, then started to get too aggressive. He's played them since ITD release, and they still struggle. And I think...
dude, they're just hurt.
He just said Kroot. Kroot have a bad matchup into Kroot. That's it. The mirror match is the only bad matchup.
There's no winners in that matchup.
My base says Shooty Hordes can struggle into Kroot.
Ironically,
that's true. Yeah,
a hard time to subdue the Kroot.
That'd be
actually
ironic. Double retain. Cool. Because they get the double retain for cover. So that makes sense.
But they can't Pathfinders remove cover. So it would delete that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they've got ways to.
Because it's only if you're recovering any
Oh,
cover.
yeah.
But isn't the Kroot one regardless of any other rule? Isn't that the one benefit to it?
We don't know. Go ask Command Point.
Are you bullying me?
You're on the casuals, Reese. This is pure gut feel.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I've played a little bit of Crew, and although they are like thematically their rules are fun, that they make sense in terms of making them feel like Crew, but they just end up in this no man's land of they can't hit hard enough in close combat, they can't shoot hard enough consistently, and they're not, like they've got those few strategic ploys like Bound, great on Beta Decima, but I mean nothing's enough to make them relevant for sure.
Did they get charged from Conceal, or was that the compendium team?
So.
They've got one operative, I think, who can do it, but that's it.
They should get charged from Conceal as a strap ploy.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
I'm not sure it would. I don't think it would save them.
No,
but it would. Yeah,
it would help
again, and it would fit in thematically with them too.
That's what I think. I think thematically, it couldn't hurt them. Arguably, it probably makes them better into what they're already good at, which is the shooty hordes.
A little more toxic. Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
I think they need something. Yeah,
we've now got the roof at the moment, and we've got a baseline established. Conan is looking pretty barren, but that's fine. We'll get there. I'm gonna.
Do you want to go for a C tier? You want to throw one in? That's
trying to snipe out a C tier.
We need to again. We're setting those baselines of what we think is C or D tier.
I like the idea of setting the baseline. So
Conan I got one. What do you guys think? I have one clear in mind, but what's one that you guys have?
I would for me.
Worse than Pulley Bound.
A team that I think is a new one that has been battling and it needs a bit of work. Already needs a bit of rework. I was thinking was the Space Marine Scouts.
That's great. Yeah, because they're not D tier.
No,
but they're also
not
decent.
Like they're not B tier. They're not Baywatch either. So they are firmly Conan. Something. I agree with you.
Yeah, so I think they're a good team. You can play them. And you won't necessarily have a bad time, but I just think there's something about their mechanics, the fact that it's all, it kind of feels like you fire your wad in the first turn and then you're exhausted for the rest of the game. I feel like they need a little bit more something.
Some juice.
Strangely, they've been doing okay in the West Coast, but the West Coast, it's we're on the East Coast here. On the West Coast, their scene can be just crazy sometimes, but
they do things differently over there.
I think one of Dakota's events they did well or they won at, but I think C tier for sure.
Yeah, I heard this actually. Yeah.
You know who else I think
Scouts a bit. They got some stuff, but they do. Yeah, they do struggle still sometimes.
How's that display board coming along?
The what?
It's not.
The Scout display board. Yeah, he's given up on it. As they found out they weren't good, it just got pushed to the back of the desk. I reckon
they're getting painted. It's just happening slowly. It's just happening slowly. It'll happen.
Well, while we're in C, I think we might be able to sneak another one in there.
Well, go on.
I say you could probably throw. Some people would probably put Harlequins in Dune tier, but I think they're probably in Conan tier. I would throw Harlequins in because now they can't fly anymore. So
you reckon it smashed them from like S tier all the way down to Conan?
Do you think that? I don't think they're a Baywatch tier.
Yeah, no,
I think they are.
Interesting. That has to be one of the biggest falls from grace we've seen.
No pun intended. That's good.
I think. Are they? They go all the way down to Conan?
I think they're in. Maybe if you want to put them above, I think I'll tell you this right now. I think Scouts is a better team.
Oh!
I don't give a heck who hears it.
Okay.
Wow. I mean, Loss of Fly
I guess it was a big change.
Was huge. I guess, and it was the core. We talked about it in the past as well. Like it was fundamentally for them. That was their team. It let them break a core game mechanic, and that was what made them as good. I mean, they've still got invulns. Yeah. They've still got a lot of Eldar dickery, but it's pretty big.
I guess Fly was it, wasn't it? The delivery system, because they had all that combat shenanigans.
Yeah.
But it had to deliver it, didn't they? And I guess without that.
Yeah, without DoorDash, they're nothing. So
DoorDash. In the last, their percentage win rate, prior obviously to this change, had them at 60.37%. That was second.
Yeah.
So that is huge.
So where do you think they're going to be? Do you think anyone's taken them?
Well, I reckon that'll be number one. I think the popularity
them,
will absolutely plummet. Because everyone will be like, well, that was the reason I played them, because they got to do what I wanted them to do all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So you're saying you reckon that they're even worse than scouts, though? You're saying Conan.
I think so.
The scouts. Russ,
I think scouts might be quite good into Harlequins because that reliable shooting means you're probably always doing.
Oh, the shotguns
damage.
are going to crush them.
Yeah, that's so arguably. If we play in it the whole kilty maths, Scout should beat Harlequins or at least give them a tough time. So maybe, yeah. You know what? Let's it's a casual tier list. Let's lean into this and let's say Scouts are getting ahead.
I think I'm right. I don't think this is casual. I think this is objective truth.
This is cutting edge. This is
their passion
new
project. All right, the clowns are going to start them here and then thematically go, whoa, 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 whoa. They're down. Wow. All right. I mean, look, I probably had them low B. This is a big shock for me.
It is.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Let's if it feels wrong, we can change it. You know, but I think this is. I think we're on the right track.
That's it. Let's start it there because obviously, as I said, this is also baselining. We might still shuffle a few bits and pieces as we drop teams. Russ, we've both gone rogue and picked a few things. Where would you like to put a team, mate? Or what team would you like to talk about next?
Ooh. I haven't thought this far ahead. I knew we were doing tier list, but I've not done any more thinking than that.
We'll come back to you.
How about Justin? How about Justin? Because you just played them.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you think Justin are at?
I think Justin are probably. I mean, again, it depends on what you're choosing them for. If you're choosing them as a great entry team, they're great.
Yes.
Because it's so easy to think about. There's not a lot of choice. But the problem is there's not a lot of choice. And they've got two heavy gunners in a team that's elite. Too heavy is kind of rubbish. So I think they're probably they're either low Conan, high Dune.
Yeah.
They're still Space Marines. They've still got plasma, so I reckon they'd probably be Conan, but like low Conan.
Echo Fiber says Justian explode really nicely.
You know what? Do you know what do you know what Justian are great for? Squig food. That's what they're good for. You know what I mean? You know what? Yeah. Strike Force Justian, a bomb squig can still kill two of them in one blow up, so they can't be that good.
So here's a question. Better or worse than Harlequins? The Scouts are for sure a better team.
Yeah,
right?
Scouts
are
are
for sure a better
they're
team.
below Harlequins. I still think Harlequins have got some stuff going on.
Okay, I think Harlequins are still
especially compared to Justin. I said once you add in two heavy operatives, even with the change to fly, Harlequins are still going to run circles around them.
I was going to say Harlequins are still 3 APL. They can still fight and fade. They've still got fusion. I think the loss of fly really hurts them turn 1, but turn 2 they are still pretty much making all the charges they want to.
Yeah.
Do you not think?
I don't know, man. Because now
I've not played them since the change.
A Pathfinder with a rope is faster than a Harlequin right now. That is embarrassing. That is.
But they're only 2 APL, so the guy could run a little bit and then
a Wormblade. Even worse than that, a Gene Stealer cult neophyte with a rope is faster than a Harlequin.
Let's not dogpile on the cult here, okay? Give them a chance.
Stop saying this because they'll get fly back, and we don't want that. They're trying to find a happy medium.
You know what?
Do you know what? Why isn't it a strategic
I hate
ploy?
them so bad, and I believe they should have it. I hate Harlequins so much. I think they should be able to fly.
I think it should be drawn to the hum. But they should get for 1 CP plus, they get fly for the turn.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure.
So then second time you use it, it's 2 CP. So they've got it for maybe 2 turns they can fly.
The things a Void Dancer player would do to have that. Just to have a CP ploy to let them fly. Just for a single strategic ploy, what would they do? Just to have fly for a CP?
All right, so Justin is going to go in after the Void Dancers. So below the poor, willing to do anything for flip belts, Void Dancers.
Yeah. Confused why they no longer work. They're like, damn it, work, flip belt. As these Pathfinders kind of scurry past, being like,
we've got our ropes, boys. Let's get climbing. All right,
Reese, you pick one.
Oh, All right, the team I want.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah,
I'm the host of the show now. You pick a faction. You pick a faction.
Sorry. I want to talk about
pick a faction.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, actually, chat get to pick the next one. Chat start throwing your names in there. I want to talk about Felgor Ravagers because this is a team I'm looking at. I want to play next, but I'm worried that if I do, the feeling is that they are still the cheese wheeze, like that they are the bee's knees. They're still crushing.
In your hands, they won't be. It's okay.
Fair, very fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
I can bring any team down in the tier list just by playing them for a bit. Because these guys are comprehensively the top of the table statistically at the moment. In the last, yes, they are quite comprehensively. And I don't think did they cop much in the last. The Iron.
They got a little
decent
bit,
clarification.
They can't throw the crack and charge anymore with whoever that guy is.
The null fist that they always did. Yeah.
Yep. The
can't do the gong. Being frenzy because the gong guy. Yeah. The gong guy used to stop anyone around him being killed because you technically would stop anyone getting a crit
damage.
So you could basically have him there making sure that no one got double killed on frenzy, but that got clarified as no. Yeah. So they got a bit of a.
And the Iron Horns call the attack ability got a distance limiter on it as well. Must be visible.
They're still S tier, right? They're still definitely Stargate, right?
I would still feel very comfortable that they would still be S tier, but
I think so.
Yeah, but maybe
I think so.
After those changes, the bottom they've slipped down a little bit, which is not saying much when you're in S tier.
Yeah, and also like something willing to be said. Never feel bad for playing an S tier team. Like if it's a team that you like or think is cool, never feel bad for playing an S tier team. Like just because they're that high. Like if you're playing them because you're a scumbucket and you just want to beat up your friends all the time, then you should feel bad. But if you think that Chaos Goatmen are cool, like which they are
cool. Yeah.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, boys. That I'm going to be playing against two sucked in. I don't feel bad. I just want to play this team, and I'll still probably make
Deep Fatty says low S tier. He quotes us. Yeah. Oh, so here's the thing: are they better or worse than Commandos? What do we think?
And this is, I guess,
I'd say worse. They're so specialized. They can't be better, right? Just melee.
Commandos.
I think it's very close.
Yeah, Commandos just seem to have the toolkits to match up to a lot of teams a lot of different ways, where I probably, again, without too much experience playing Falco, only a couple of games here and there, it does feel like they've got a set way to play, like a set path to victory, and they do it extremely well. It's hard to stop, but they will have matchups that aren't as effective, whereas I feel like Commandos, for me, are just any team, they've got things, they've got options, they've got flex, and that's probably the difference.
Okay.
Versatility. Yeah. You know what? I would say future proofing as well, because if any time they came up and they said long range shooting is king, and I know kind of Beta Decima did that a little bit, but yeah, Commanders would have them beat.
All right. The chat has spoken. We've had a couple votes in there for the Squatty Boys, the Hearthkin. So let's move to that one. What do you guys think?
Where do you guys think they're at?
Hearthkin.
I've been playing them a bit recently in my little circle of friends. They can hit like a truck when things are going well. I think the changes to things, I think like the locator got the change that stops heaps of pre-game moves and stuff like that, which is really, really big because obviously they're slow. So slowing down your opponent is a really, really powerful thing. I still feel at times, once you get a run on them, though, once you drop a couple of operatives, they start running out of options pretty quick. I'm feeling top of Conan, maybe, with those changes they've had, but I'm happy to hear your guys' thoughts.
I would argue, and I'm always in the minority on this, I think low Baywatch. I believe in the Short Kings. I really truly believe in them. And as far as I think they're just more, average than they are like worse on the sliding scale of things. That I would argue for low Baywatch because I think there is some teeth there. I don't think they're pure garbage. I think they're very difficult to play though, like to do well. It seems like you have to play perfect with your slow movement. But I do like that you get stronger as you lose operative because in one way, like you said, you start to lose your options. But your guys get stronger in that every hit is a crit now. Every kiss begins with K and every hit is a crit with with Hearthkit. So I would argue for low Baywatch.
Low Baywatch.
I think that's good. They've got some nice moves that can stop your opponent scoring. It feels like they kind of got a bunch of control pieces and they've got a bit of speed.
And their ability to boop objectives as they die, also shoot for free, stuff like that as well. So they've got a couple of those things of you do the mental maths of where you think they can get or what they can do, and then they go, actually, geez, I've just got that plasma beamer and just rinsed half my blooded operatives who are lining up in a straight line.
I believe in him.
Okay.
Yeah, so I believe in him.
Russ, you agree? Low Baywatch?
Yeah. I mean, For
context, they have the second lowest win percentage in the last. This is in the last quarter.
Wow.
This is a hot take. I know this.
The change.
I'm always defending them.
Someone in the chat
I know this
did
is a hot
say
take.
Aquaman is just out of reach.
Oh, they're definitely not anywhere near Aquaman tier for sure. They're not even close.
All right,
but I think they're. Gosh,
are they better than Scouts? Are they better than Harlequins? Let's put
them in B for now. I think they're better than Harlequins right now. To be honest with you.
Okay. What's happening? All right, the chat also voted for Breaches.
Ooh,
whoops.
Breaches are a weird one. They've really fallen out of favor, but they're still a really great team.
Yeah. I noticed that. There's much less of them showing.
Yeah.
It seems that they've just people have moved on, not necessarily through a fault of the team getting worse or the team doing anything worse. That's just, I think, new shiny objects and teams appeared. So therefore it's kind of diluted their popularity a bit. That's probably how I look at it.
Yeah. Because they're better than Hearthkin.
Yeah.
Are they better than I keep wanting to call them White Dwarf. What are they called? Warp Coven. I think they're better than Warp Coven for sure. Yeah, I think they're definitely better than Warp Coven.
100% better than Warp Coven. Definitely. I would definitely say. I mean,
but probably not Aquaman tier. I don't know. They could be bottom of Aquaman tier. I think they're pretty good. If you lose a turn 2 initiative to them, that can be devastating.
Their ability to stack things in that turn 2, they can be really, really devastating. I'd probably say, definitely ahead of Warp Coven. So whether it's top of Baywatch or bottom of Aquaman, that's tough.
Oh, you think they're ahead of? I think they'll be behind. Well, I'm basing this on my own ignorance of Breaches, even though they've been out for ages. Yeah. Because of that, I would put a middle of Baywatch just because I don't 100% know everything they do, but I know they do a bunch. They've got a bit of everything. Like they've got a GA2 if they want it. Yeah. They've got a remove obscuring. They've got a random
blast. They have a grenade that is blast and AP1.
Yeah, they've got a great break point where they can give everyone an extra 8 wounds, so a 3-4 bolter shot, like a shot and a crit won't kill them. Yep. Well, you know what I mean? They've got like a nice bunch of things all nestled together that you've got to assume that's going to help. Yeah, like as Echo's saying, they got that. Splash doesn't affect them?
Yeah,
it hits someone else, but it doesn't.
They've got resistance.
They get rid of splash and they can reroll blast and stuff like that. It's just it feels like they've got a lot that should make them succeed, but I just don't know them enough. So I'd have to say mixing in Norwich
kill team. Yeah, Norwich kill team says Conan for sure. Ooh. I think Conan's too low. I respect you, Norwich kill team, but I think Conan is a little too harsh. Yeah, I respect you, but respectfully, get out of town, Norwich. Go back to London where you belong, you filthy animal.
So, because it's also, yes, it is 3-3 on the shooting, but it's shotgun.
Yeah, it's not as
so it's
good.
super consistent. Is probably the other thing as well.
Yeah, somewhere in Baywatch is my vote.
Yeah, they've got plasma. They've got that shield guy. They've got a bunch of shenanigans. They've got a whole. One of those teams has got a whole load of stuff.
So we're saying
putting it all together should
we're
be Disney.
feeling in between Warp Coven, nestled in between a wizard and a dwarf.
Yeah,
Oof.
I think we've got Jason Momoa slow motion running on a beach, but instead of doing CPR, he stabs them with a sword. I think that's where we're at. But because of that, I think we just put him in the middle of Baywatch.
Ben,
but I do think they've crept up.
Yeah, I feel like they're no pun intended, head and shoulders better than squats.
Yes. Yeah. I'd say middle of Baywatch so far. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, we'll come back to him if it's wrong. But I think definitely Baywatch for sure.
All right, so they're locked in now. Anyone else? Any other votes in the chat? Hand of the Archon.
Somebody was voting for Hand of the Archon. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Hand of the Archon. Interesting team. Another team I've played against a little bit. I definitely. I don't know why, but I find 8 model teams like the sneaky elves. I like 9. Sorry, I like playing against them with my blooded because I always feel like I get to just trade models with them, and maybe that's just the blooded matchup. I feel confident into them, but I also
people are low on this team.
Yeah,
the community like at large is very low on Hand of the Archon right now. I really like this team.
The grenade,
but I agree, like
brutal. If it hits the right spot, the little grenadier.
It feels like it's weird. It feels like a team that if things are going well, they start going better. Like if you get the kill and then you get, I don't know, that's kind of probably the truth for every single team. Although,
no, you're right.
When you're winning, it feels like you're winning.
Yeah,
and when you're losing, it feels like you're losing.
Like if you kill the opponent's entire team, it feels like it's going well. But other times you can do that and it's just, but like it does feel a team like if you get lucky and you get that kill, that'll snowball into the next, and then all of a sudden you've got an APL 3 guy, or you can then dash, and then I don't know, it does feel like you are more rewarded for killing with this team than any other team almost, apart from seek and destroy. Like if you can kill, you might be safe next turn. So there's a real push, it feels, to play them potentially aggressively, and that when you play a team quite aggressively, it either goes really well, or if you're a glass cannon 5-up save, it goes poorly. So it feels like they're quite swingy depending on how well it goes and how well you plan. So I don't think I would pilot them well, but I think they probably, because of that, a quite B-ish team, like a Baywatchy team. I feel like.
Oh wow!
I had him Conan.
I don't know. I think I'm thinking low Baywatch because I do feel like.
Yeah.
I'm thinking low Conan.
I don't know. You're thinking low Conan.
Only because I've played.
I'm thinking
and I've just gotten. I just have very little fear because the things they do well.
Yeah.
I just feel like isn't enough to make them a consistently good team. Like. They're just, as you said, they've got to play them really well. I think you have to be aggressive with them. And then you've got to line up a lot of those tech pieces. But then they're close combat guys. I don't think trade as well as you'd hope.
Oh, do you think? They've got some great, not into elite potentially, but into other squishies.
They have two. Yeah, they have two melee operatives better. Can it be good even into elites? I think.
They got some. But if they go first, and some of them have the fight, they have a free fight after they charge, so you're likely to get in there. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, here's the question: are you taking them? Or are you taking Harlequins? Like, are they going to be lower than Harlequins on this list?
I have them as lower than Harlequins.
I think so. Really? I think they're buddies with Justian.
Yeah.
Holy smokes,
a lot of people are putting them. A lot of people put them in the worst. Like somebody was like, "You think Kroot is better than, or you think Kroot is worse than Drukhari?" And so, I think they're better than Kroot for sure.
Yeah, 100%. They're not in June. Definitely not. But
I think they're buddies.
I will
with
yield.
Justian.
I will yield and let you have
to the browbeating.
I'm not going to fight too hard. I'm not going to fight too hard for Archon. The Archons, like the Hand of the Archon. Like, so if the group's decision is low, that's low.
Yeah. And an interesting consideration, Reese.
49.
Like what you what you brought up, Reese, is that sort of, I think something that could be nice to factor in is, are you worried when you match up into them?
Yeah.
And I agree. Like if I match up into Hand of the Archon, I'm not sweating it as bad as like if I matched up into Felgor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. I just think.
Well, yeah,
I agree with you.
That's an S team. That's an S tier team.
Okay, sure.
Are you sweating it harder if you go into scouts?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. Well, yeah, but let's put him behind Justin. Although I would say they've got to be in front of Justin, but
interesting.
Yield.
Okay.
I
would prefer to go in Justin than our hand.
What does the community say?
Yeah.
What does the comment section say?
Yeah,
Talk to us, comments on this one. Maybe we'll come back to it.
Well, I'll pop him just ahead of Justin for now, but I'm happy to let's
Justin head.
Listen to the chat. We've also had a vote for the Intercession, the Space Marines, a team that we saw a whole bunch of for a long, long time. But again, I think I feel like they've faded out of favor, if you know what I mean.
Talk about a team that I would love to match up into. I have every tournament I go to, I seem to run into Intercession more than once.
Okay.
And it fills my heart with joy to match up into Intercession.
Yeah, but you're always playing Legionaries, though. That's a great matchup for Legionaries.
Yeah. Okay,
quick question.
That's
a great
not as
one.
good.
What is a good matchup for Intercession? Tell me.
Fruit.
What do they match up? Where do they match up? Intercession? Because then one of them's winning, although one of them is losing always. I don't know. I feel like
I'm low on Intercession, guys. I'll tell you this right now. I'm real low.
I don't think you're alone in that. I think the stats.
I'm Sandy low.
Echo says Groot.
Team.
Would you prefer to be running?
Sand.
Would you prefer Justian or Intercession if you were running into
I
Marine
think I
team?
Prefer just because you get Justian. I think I would.
Justian's good. He is good.
He carries the whole team, right? He just carries the team on their back.
You're not winning the mission that well with just Justian.
Just Justian.
With Justian.
Justian.
I think
if you're playing loot, it's already a rough time, but that's a bad matchup.
I'm going Dune tier is my vote. I will submit to you guys, but I'm going Dune tier on this one.
This is cruel on the boys. I was gonna say because of the sheer amount of versatility they've got, they have to be above Justian. Because you can take I'm into it. I mean, again, you can't match into a tournament, but if you're like, I'm going to be in combat, I'm in Felgor Ravagers, maybe I take Duelist so I can never be tied down in combat. I can always go from combat into their back lines, and I take Durables. You know what I mean? Like they've got so much that they could add to the team to tailor them. And I know people just take Durable and Fast or whatever, but they've got Wrath of Death. I mean, again, it's the same strat ploys, which aren't there. They're not super good. Like they should get in Death Atonement. They've got like a similar one, but it's just not quite as good, isn't it? Or is it? No, it's exactly the same. No, they're not injured, so they are injured. But
yeah, Scouts, I think a better team.
Yeah,
Harlequins, a better team.
Hand of the
Drukhari, a better team. I think Justian, all things considered, is a better team, to be honest with you guys. The only thing that Intercession has is chapter tactics, in my opinion, in Ben's opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we've nailed it down to it's are they ahead of Justian or behind Justian?
Yeah. What do you think, Reese?
That's the spot. Yeah.
You need to break this tie.
You be the decider, Reese. Yeah.
I would say I would have put them just ahead of Justian, purely based on the fact that they have versatility. The fact that if you're looking at, like, if you're a good player, changing up your things you're going with, and the fact that they've got options. Justian is very good, but you've got two heavy operatives, which really limits mobility and limits how you can play the objective, I think. So I think Intercession scores better and has more to it. But I tell you what, it's a bee's wiener in it. It is not much.
Okay.
It is the proverbial
I think Farstalker's getting a little lonely personally, and I would have given them a friend in Intercession. But I concede.
Got a friend in me.
We're going.
So we're putting them ahead of Justian.
Just ahead of Justian. Justian ahead.
All right. Well, good to know that you guys are a couple of goobers. Good to know. I said I would submit, but I didn't mean it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I will die on this hill.
Yeah, I said I would be professional, but actually, no.
I'm actually going to go. I'm actually taking this pretty badly, guys.
Actually, I can't regulate my emotions.
I'm holding it in, but I'm kind of steamed. I'm kind of pissed right now. Yeah.
All right,
how about we pivot to their mirror legionaries?
Yeah,
that feels like a good change of pace.
Good pivot. Pivot. Someone did just say, noticed that all the Imperial Space Marine teams are pretty bland, but the Chaos Space Marine teams are a whole lot better. Was that you, Ben? Did you write that?
That was not me. It's just the truth. It's the objective truth.
So we're going to have to temper Ben here.
Yeah.
Ben's going to be like S tier.
S tier.
No, surely not.
They're probably going to be like high Baywatch, low Aquaman, but Ben, fight for your S tier position.
So S tier, certainly not. Legionaries are my one true love in life, but I truly believe that they are one of the better Baywatch teams. I might be alone here. I might be alone here, but while here's the thing, they have a lot of bad matchups. I'm looking at the teams that we haven't put places yet. I'm looking at stuff like Corsairs. I'm looking at stuff like who else would be going in B? Well, we don't want to get too far ahead. Like Castrican, maybe they might even be lower than B. I don't know. Like they have a lot of weird bad matchups, but I think they are overall one of the better teams in B. And I'd put them top of B in my opinion.
Top of B. Okay. So you're saying
I think they're stronger than people give them credit for.
Better than Warp Coven?
For sure.
Are they better than the new and improved Warp Coven?
I think so, for sure.
Yeah, look, I think they're such a consistent team. I think that's their best thing is just they've got a few bad matchups, but they've got so many good ones. And they've got the versatility with the marks. A lot to be said, whether it's Nurgle or Zench.
Yeah.
Which is really good. Like again, it feels like you can have a bit of a fun with how you build them as well. You don't have to have. You can actually like some teams don't feel like you need a roster because you know what you're taking. I think these guys have got some options as well, which I like. And due to, for me, the not melting my brain, that gets them ahead of Warp Coven in my books.
You get extra bonus points for being ease of use.
Yeah, like if that's the tiebreaker between those two, they don't melt my brain. They beat out Warp Coven. So we're all pretty comfortable. They get to be in the good sands of beautiful Baywatch Beach.
Yeah, they also
notably
have great matchups into the two S tier teams right now. Now, great as in about as good as it gets. Like, yes. So interesting little
with dignity. I like it.
Yeah, because like they take on Commando, especially now after just a scratch change. Oh man, because you have Lethal 5 all over the place. They take on Commandos really well. They also take on Goats pretty well. So that's something to keep in mind with their placement.
All right, let's go. Now, speaking of Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines, Ben, you very high on the new the Claw.
Oh, do we want to go there?
I want to go there.
Do we want to go here?
We've got Legionnaires. We don't know where they are. These guys are obviously them plus in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
you get a lot of the same benefits.
Yeah, so this is a tough one because they have, the bad matchups are the same as other elite teams, but currently right now, my hot take is put them right at the top of A, and I think they might stay there for a little while. I don't think they're the top of A permanently, but I think the guys are just so good. They're so freaking good. I'm so high on this team right now. I think right now put them top of A. They're an elite team that some people don't believe in them. And you know what I say to those folks? Get wrecked. That's what I would say to those people that don't believe in them. They're an incredible team. If you have a base of Legionaries, you can play with this team. You just have some awesome tools. I think they're so incredibly lethal. And they being able to Vox Scream is so important. Have some sort of control over the flow of the game in a way that Legionaries can't do. I say top of A.
I mean, if you look at who's in A, I go, yes, I see them as better than Admech, and yeah, I guess that in that case they have to be better than Vetguard. because that's the team below them. What do you reckon, Russ?
Yeah, I've only had a couple of games into them, and
Did you reckon?
I'm still not sold on them.
Oh, I love it.
That's wild.
You should
I know. I'm
wild.
keen to like play them and use them and see if I'll become sold on them. Like, I don't think they're bad. Don't get me wrong. I do think they're great. They've got some great moves, great stuff that elites needed, like that their prescience tokens, the Vox Scream. It's all great. So yeah, pretty much being able to guarantee that second turn multi kill feels like a real big, like, that was a legionary thing where you're like, damn, I just want to be able to guarantee that, and you pretty much can, and that really sets you up for such a strong turn 2. You could really devastate teams turn 2. Yeah,
they are incredible.
I'm happy to let Ben have this one. I can't I can't refute it. So I'll say I'm still inexperienced against or with Nemesis Claw. So I will say let's put him an A if the moment.
Okay.
Let's see if anyone takes him down a bit, but maybe that's
they won't stay there forever. I agree, but right now top of A for me.
All right, so let's get
what else we got?
Let's jump from them to their offsiders in the box, the Mandrakes, because I think it was interesting.
Wow, they had their 30 seconds at the top of A. Thanks so much, Reese. Yep. Thanks so much. They had their 30 seconds of fame at the top of Aquaman.
I can't let you enjoy things too much, Ben. I want you to have just a little bit before I take it away. But no, my point being here was that obviously I think coming out of the gates, everyone was very high on Mandrakes, that they were clearly the tougher team of the two. But we've just heard your success story for the Claw. Is this true? Is this what we're seeing in games reflected? Have you guys, Russ, I know you have played some Mandrakes. Did they live up to what you were expecting? How did you find them?
Yeah, I found them to be, maybe it's not surprising. They've got I don't know, they've got some crazy shooting, and everyone talks about them being this kind of a team that can reliably get your tac ops. It seems like you can all but guarantee your tac ops just because you can get pretty much anywhere on the board. So for control, you're not necessarily coming out that portal and killing stuff, but you're coming out that portal and getting an objective that you need, or getting seizing ground and stuff like that. So it feels like it's a team that's real good at maneuverability. So that's going to be great at getting your tac ops. They can hide quite convincingly.
Yep.
Again, I've not had a great experience. I've only played them once, and it was on a beta decima, so it wasn't open. So it was basically their smoke just shut down all the shooting. But their shooting is, I went into the game thinking all their shooting was 6-inch range, like pistol range, and it's not.
Oh, no.
And it effectively turns 2 APL. Doesn't matter what your save is. Your save is effectively a 5-up save.
Yeah.
And if you're a Space Marine, it's effectively a 4-up save from a 3-up. So they make it's just a more efficient, almost AP system. They still have to hit, obviously, but it is oddly reliable shooting, meaning you can generally you're only rolling a 1 or 2 for most operatives to save, or 1, 2, and 3 if you, like, say you're a 3 APL model. But that's not you know what I mean? Like, that's not a great save if you're used to a better save than 50-50 as a Space Marine, which you are. So they've got some really reliable shooting and tricks. So yeah, I think that they're probably an A team just based on ignorance alone. That not a lot of people have played them, so I think they're probably going to be an A team, and they might be edging you out, your Nemesis Claw out.
Yeah, totally. Top for me, top of A for sure. They're pound for pound a better team than Nemesis Claw for sure. I think that matchup is interesting. I think Nemesis Claw does okay in that matchup between the two of them. But yeah, Nemesis, what are they called? Mandrakes. They have some pretty zonky stuff going on. 4-up invuln in shadow. They're sticking around. They can dash in between your activations for a CP. Their whole team can. So if they begin and end in shadow. The Chooser of the Flesh is crazy. The fact that they can somebody, the Dirgema, I think, can focus on you, and so you can't activate until he gets to activate.
Yeah.
And then he'll just come ruin your life. So I think they're very good, top of A easily for me. Not S. I think not Stargate, but I think top of A.
No, yeah.
I think that was a bit of a surprise. I think, myself included, I think looking early on, I thought maybe they are going to come out and be broken, especially when you looked at that teleporting shenanigans and all that stuff. But actually, yeah, it's good, but luckily it's not ruining it for everyone. I still think they're shooting though. I'm with you, Russ. I thought it was gonna be Pentagon because it's kind of meant to be like a little hand fire. I nearly feel that's a bit of a mistake. I think it should only be Pentagon. It seems a bit much.
Maybe they'll do that because there's one guy that's meant to be the good shooter.
Yeah,
I think he's got like both hands, and maybe that one they could say they are a long range, and maybe they use equipment to give long range, and maybe they just reduce all the shooting to pistol range. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's an odd one, but yeah, I still think super strong team, great at shooting, great at combat. Not the best at combat. I feel like I would feel maybe confident running, for example, Galapox into them.
Yes.
I feel like maybe the Hulks could probably mess an 8-wound model. There's a couple of them that are just going to slap a couple of them out the way. But they're going to be all over the place on the board. But I don't know. I think there's a couple of teams. Yeah, and 2 APL, as Contrick said. So there's a couple of teams that can maybe do real. And I think maybe a nice melee team might do well. I know they are great in melee, but they're great against teams that aren't great in melee.
Yes,
anything that's 2-3, and they've got a couple of absolute chads in combat like that. The Taker that can then kill someone and say you for the rest of the game and now 3 APL. Like, so kill him.
Gross.
Kill him early.
Gross.
You kill that model as quick as you can, and you know he's coming for you, so they'll be coming forward anyway. So you just kill that model and then plow through. And I think what will happen is as people play them more, they'll go down in that list because people will get the target priority. Yes. I think it's because it's still new. Everyone's still like, well, what's the target priority? And he's the target priority. They're the target priority. And then maybe you move around. But because they are quite hard to see, I still think they'll be a great team regardless. But yeah, top of A, I'd say for me as well.
Locked them in. It'll be interesting to see, once the first round of changes, if they get, I reckon there'll be some bits and pieces there that might change. I reckon there'll be a team who will have some tweakings. Let's go to another team you got a bit of experience with here, Russ. What about your new pals, the Star Striders?
Ooh, I do love the Star Striders. I think for me, I think they might be similar to Admech and Vet Guard for me. I don't know where I put them on that list. I would put them high A, mid A. In the board we've currently got, personally, I would put them above Hunter Clade, behind Nemesis Claw. But it'd be interesting to see because it does feel like they've got great tricks. Like they've got GA2, like all of their strat ploys are just amazing, and their tac ops also amazing. Yeah. They've got the Void Master who can just take out an anointed in one action. I've done it. Like he can just wreck with that shotgun. He's got one of the better shotguns because he can shoot at range as well. Yes. So he's got long range, short range shot. I mean, it's a las gun. It's a las pistol at long range, but you've got the option. Scouts don't have that option, but like GA2 and him, they've got stuff that they can. I think they've got great moves. I think the asset's still going to be a trouble for anyone because you're going to get at least 2 of those AP2 beams off at like 6-7 AP2, like horrendous.
Yes.
And they've got a lot of blast if you're dealing with the hordes. You can do 2 blasts in a row. It's just. Yeah, they've just got so much versatility, which I think they need because their team has 0 versatility. You are taking this team, but they're custom built. Like they are just built for recon. Like, I mean, the dog is the only model I've ever seen that is so tailor-made for a tac op. It's unreal. Like he's made to recover item.
Yes.
And the thing is, he can't be stopped. Even if you're just like minus APL to that guy, he's still technically a Navi. So you can still just boost his APL with daring. I think it's not daring. It's whatever one. You can still technically, you can just boost him back.
Yeah, he's boosted back up,
so you can just be like, well, I'll just boost him back to 2. I mean, it's a waste, but like you can still do it. So you can almost never stop it unless you go for it. So yeah, I think Yeah, I'd say mid. Currently in the current table, mid A tier. Still, they've got teeth and tools. You know
I agree.
what I mean?
Above Hunter Clade, I think is a pretty good assessment.
That's it. No arguments from me. Look at us agreeing on things. I said that. I mean, they've got the drawback still being obviously most of their operas that they're just humans. They're just guardsmen, but all their pieces do good stuff. As you said, their rules are thematic, but they work as well, which is really cool.
Great tac ops, great strat ploys, and that just really changes. And loads of extra stuff that just change the game. You can, move it around.
All right. Well, Ben, would you like to pick the next one, mate? Who would you like to talk about?
Ooh, let's go with the Flippity Phobos. Let's pull them out. Another loyalist Space Marine. And I think these guys are a firm, sort of step above. I still believe the Intercession should be in Dune tier, but I think they are a step above. I think they are somewhere in Baywatch. I'd say currently bottom of Baywatch would be my...
Currently the bottom of Baywatch. Worst
that'd be my pick.
Behind the dwarves?
I'll tell you what, man. I know this is my hot take on the dwarves. How about this? How about we throw Intercession in Dune and we can put dwarves in C? Everybody's happy. How about that?
Hill. I thought you were dying on this hill.
I found a new hill to die on, and it's that Intercession sucks. That's my new hill to die on, okay? I'm fickle. I'm passionate but fickle, okay?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So what do you think, Russ? Where have you got them going?
I think Phobos have still got play. I think they're one of the better Marine teams, not Chaos, obviously.
Agreed.
But all the Marine teams are pretty low. I just realized that.
That's easy.
I would be tempted to put them in, sneak them in after breaches.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
I would be tempted. I feel like
you are right. You are right. They are a better team than the dwarves. You are for sure right.
I think Phobos are one of those teams. They've after many iterations of ups and downs and tweaks, they're in that great spot. They play the mission really, really well. I think someone said it in the chat there. The chat very well. What did they say? Poor Phobos, they play well, but they get outslayed, which means they still do struggle at times to put out the hurts. But they're still Space Marines. They've got a lot of tricks. I think they're sitting at about 50% is their win rate. So nestled in the middle of B for Baywatch, I think is about spot on.
Yep, I think right behind Breachers is perfect. Great call.
Mm-hmm. I'd say that.
Look at that.
A big shout out to Trilly Bong, subscribed with Prime for 3 months.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
also
it.
Asks, made it. Do you guys got a Discord? We do indeed.
It's the Battle Brothers tabletop.
I don't know if I can say anything.
Yeah,
I can't become a link.
We have the Battle Brothers Discord, and then the Casual Wargamers. That's us. We have a paywalled Discord, if you will.
Paywalled.
And
that's where Ben puts all his nudes.
Yep, that's where they go. They're extra steamy.
Doesn't matter how many times we complain, he still posts them.
Hey, I'm the mod. What are you gonna do about it? I'm the mod. What are you gonna do?
Always in work in progress as well. Like, it's such a weird. Hey guys, check out this whip. And then it's just...
I'm workshopping it. You know what I mean? Like, I have to workshop it on somebody. My wife is sick of it. You know what I mean? So I got to workshop it somewhere.
We'll have a look at that. He's saying that the link, he is a patron, but the link's expired. So we'll have a look.
Trilly. Is this Trilly? Is this London? London Trilly with the... Unless the name's just something different.
I think you mean London Trolley. I think trolleys are only in London, so... But we'll get right on not London Trilly.
Different
not
one.
London Trilly. Okay, different.
We'll get right on that Trilly. We'll get right on that.
When I say London Trilly, I do actually mean London, whereas obviously the guys would just mean London just means UK to them.
Contric 84 is London Trilly.
There we go. Is that why you said there you go? Because you said get that screen name, and I get it now because that's obviously his name anyway. There you go. Carry on.
Hey, question.
I see you, Contric. I knew you were there.
Question for you, Trilly. Are you Will T on Instagram? Is that you? Because I need to get back to someone who messaged me on Instagram.
Any other mail you want to do? That's him.
That's him. Okay.
Wow.
There we go.
What is this? What's this weird coincidence world?
There we go. Trilly, I apologize wholeheartedly. Anyways,
You have
how
to
about
pay
we throw
for a sub to get Ben's attention. We all
I'm
have
so
that
sorry,
issue.
I'm the
We
worst.
all have that
We
issue.
I'm the
all have
worst.
to do this.
Let's go for another sucky team. Let's go Exaction Squad.
Yeah.
Let's throw them in Dune and move on. Like seriously,
Yeah.
like we have plenty teams. Throw them in Dune.
Whoa.
They're not that great, and then let's move on.
Our beaties.
Russ is ready to
Are we just
fight.
throwing them in June? Are we just careless?
Russ,
I feel
plead
like
your
I need to
case.
stand up for
Plead
them.
your case.
Okay.
Die on your own hill, buddy.
Let's hear it. So I think there's a place for our beaties in this world. Those shield guys.
Yeah, the
with
trash
face-
can.
Yeah, with the face thingies, they strike first. They've got a decent stat line, and they deny rerolls. Can really shut down an offensive line. If you got someone, and I know it's niche, I know it can happen. I don't know. I just think I'd like them to be. Can we have a consideration for a desert in Conan land? Maybe.
Well, to talk pure statistics, currently 48.54%. They didn't get any buffs or changes in the most recent data slate, which I think is interesting because I still think they've had a lot. I think that, but they still need something. I would find it, and I mean, actually, I'm surprised that they're at 48%. I'm not sure if the two people that are playing
that's shocking.
are playing them well, because they just don't seem that popular. I don't think they're a team I see very much. Like, do you guys come up against them very often?
There's some great players that use them really
because they're not
well.
very good. So here's the thing, right? Speaking of great players who play them, I totally agree, Russ.
The great players who play any team really well.
Slater, right? Slater took him to LVO. One of the six-sided Paradise guys took them to LVO, and both of those guys are total sharks, right? Monsters. Didn't go well for them, or their household, or their family name.
Their household.
So here's the question that I would pose.
One of their second cousins died that weekend. And that was fully attributed to the RBTs. Yeah.
So here's what I would counter with. And again, if you haven't picked up on this, arguing is my favorite pastime. I do it for sport. If they're not in Dune with Kroot, who else is going in D tier? That would be the question that I pose.
Does someone else need to be in D tier? Can we not just put Kroot on an island out there on their own?
I think Intercession need to be there too.
Cast them out.
Intercession are weak sauce, man. I believe they should be in D tier, but I will concede. So you think
he says that after arguing for the third time about it?
Yeah, Conan.
Well, let's put them at the head of Dune then. They are Paul Atreides.
Yeah.
How about this?
Let's put them there.
Yeah, we let Reese. Do you have an opinion? Because I'm not trying to just argue my way through this thing, even though I love it so much. I love arguing.
I'm with Russ that they've got some interesting bits, the shield dudes and all that. It is good, but I just don't. Again, if there's a team across the table from you, we're going Fear Factor. We're going old school Joe Rogan with a bit of hair, where there's really not much fear based around them. And I said I'm genuinely shocked by those stats at 48%. That's a glitch in the Matrix. They're the top of June. They're House Atreides. They are.
Yeah.
They are there.
Wow.
All right. Well,
I tried, guys. I tried, Dread. I tried.
From the dunes of Arrakis, let's go to see. I'm going to put a team out there that I think I know where they're going straight away. And it's a team I've been playing a bit, and I hate them. It's the Galapox.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's well. You say, where do you think they're going to go?
Well, for me, it's their S tier. They are
really.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Wow.
I think they're very good.
I still think they're S tier. They're just the 4 Hulk bodies are so hard to move. They're basic mutant dudes. Rocking frag grenades is always that surprise you forget about. They've just got so many things. Taken the little sting wings that can be dealing out, stun, which can be infuriating in the right situations. I just think they're just. I feel you have to do everything right, and they just have to do what they want. If that makes sense, they've got the revolting and resilient, which means interesting. You can line things up beautifully well, and they just go, oh yeah, I only took 2 of that 16 damage you did. It always seems, maybe it might just be me. It seems to roll hot against me. But yeah, for me, I would say bottom of S, but that's just me.
Interesting.
How about you, Ben? What are you thinking?
So I think they've been slept on a little bit. I think they're very good. I'm looking at so like maybe Mandrakes need to go up to S tier.
Okay.
Yeah, because who's a Gellerpox probably do pretty well in that matchup. But man, I don't know. I had to think about that. That's a tough one. I
see. I think they'd be mid A for me. I think they'd be probably behind Striders, but ahead of the Vet Guard matchup. See, they've got 5-up save pretty much across the board, and they've got some hidden operatives that can just hide and stay hidden. Yeah. You've got to roll 6s to get stunned with any of those wings.
Yeah. But you get like 15 dice to do it on.
And there's quite a lot of models that do just have 2 wounds, 3 wounds. So they can pretty much get tech infection off every game. So you're getting 2 victory points for that.
Yeah.
And then, they're pretty decent on objectives, apart from obviously the big Hulk dudes, the 3 Hulk dudes it's an extra AP to do anything. So you can only really do actions with you're doing them with the 4 little glitchlings anyway, really.
Yeah.
But if someone kills your glitchlings, that match is rough for you, because your frag guys are only 4-inch move, and they've all got nerfed down to a 6-up save. Yeah. Some of the best Rust Emanations is now only in Nightmare Hulks. Yeah. And people are arguably going to be targeting your Nightmare Hulks, which can win you like a couple of turns of grace on your glitchlings, because that's the mistake. But you kind of have to deal with them. But I don't know. I feel like they've got they can have some rough matchups.
There's some holes in their game, you're saying?
They've got some holes in their game, I feel. But they're a great team. They're still a great team. But if you got reliable, arguably scouts have a decent matchup into them because the shotguns are so reliable. And they can kind of funnel them with the whole, and they can -1 APL on one of the guys. So that at the start, you're not going to get that flamer dash guy. You can be like, he's going to be dashed. I'm going to get balanced on him. Reduces his minus APL. Set up a bomb, and arguably you're going to hit a bomb, and you're going to hit it with your Nightmare Hulk so that no one else gets killed by it. So you can eat as many wounds, but you've wounded one, and then you're going to get with a 5-up save. You're probably going to get 16 damage through. Like you might get just 12. You know what I mean? You're going to get a decent amount of damage through. I don't know. I think there's a couple of teams that will pump a lot of damage through on them with that bad save, and you can mitigate it with Blessings of the Pox. So if you if you fail like a 3 or more, you get to retain a save. But
yes, correct. Yeah,
I don't know. Still a great team, but my thoughts would be mid to high A for them. And I think they match up well against some of those A teams. I just think
What do you reckon? Well, Ben, it sounds like you've got the deciding vote here.
Yeah.
Oof, boy, ultimate power.
We didn't say
I
that.
think, and I'll try to. It sounds like you guys have made me king of the show. I accept. Thank you. Gosh, if we're running this pause, I'm trying to sum this up concisely. I think when I match up into Gellerpox, I'm not excited. I'm like, man, a well-piloted Gellerpox team is lethal. It's just totally lethal. It's hard to, it feels like you're stuck in molasses when you're playing against a really good Gellerpox player. Joshua the Kid Kelly, he won the Magnolia Open with him. And
that's true.
I'm pretty high on him. I think, gosh, S tier. I think who's better, Mandrakes or Gellerpox?
I reckon Mandrakes would have a bad time into Gellerpox.
I think they would have a bad time into it, but I think Mandrakes have better matchups. But then that's just because they're new as well.
That is true.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Gellerpox is better than Mandrakes. It's just that they're a new team, so it still seems fresh. I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know.
I think they deserve more to be in S tier than they do in the bottom of, or in the middle of A.
Okay. Well, I will concede. I like them as a team. I'm happy to see them in S tier.
Yeah, if that feels wrong, we can change it. But On gut, they can be disgustingly lethal.
It's a team with a lot of gut as well.
Yes.
Oh, so much
Plenty
gut.
to go around. All right.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking we put Mandrakes in S as well, but I'm getting ahead of myself. What else we got? How about Reese, a team that you love is near and dear to your heart, Wormblade.
Yeah.
Where's Wormblade going?
I got no idea. It's been a while since I played these guys. I love it.
They got buffs, didn't they, recently?
They did. They changes to, actually, I can bring them up. Let's take a look at the list. So Wormblade. So changes the second paragraph of their cult ambush ability. The first time this operative either fights or shoots in each of its activation, if its order was changed from concealed to engaged during its activation, or it wasn't visible to enemy operatives at the start of the activation. So basically gives you more chance to use your cult ambush. So you can obviously either be changing your token, or if you were behind a bit of heavy terrain and not actually visible. So that's I actually think that's pretty handy, because otherwise, you're only getting that. And yes, you've got ways to change your order back, but I still think it adds a little bit. I mean, they're one of those teams, I think they've been good for a long time, but they've just been good. Like, they've never been out of their skin, so people are taking them over comparable teams. And they do take a little bit of brain drain to get them maxing out. Their win rate, 54%. So they're moving on
check
up.
that out.
So,
yeah.
In a good spot. I just think probably maybe not as popular. Maybe we don't hear or see them on the other side of the table.
It's an expensive team to get to.
Also true.
Yeah.
I think that keeps people out. I think better than Vetguard by a long shot right now.
I was thinking the same. I was thinking having them in that kind of mix-up, in kind of the Star Striders, Hunter Clade, Vetguard.
Yeah. I say right behind Star Striders.
Yes.
People might disagree, but I think I say put them right behind Star Striders.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I think
I think that's I feel suited, because I said, if I had them, I'd feel comfortable they're going to beat at, like, if you look at all those teams, you'd be confident about those matchups of everyone below. They've got great tricks, they've got good ball control, they score objectives well, lots of bodies. I think I just think they've been so super consistent for a long time. It's a bit of a shame they don't get a bit more play. Going to be interesting to see how the Brood Brothers go. Coming out very soon, and where they drop in, but hopefully another team that's got some pretty fun GSC shenanigans. All right,
Sweet.
Look at that. Look at us agreeing. Russ, here's another one for you, mate. Novitiates.
I'm going to say novitiates, aren't you? Yeah,
Yes,
I knew that was coming. Honestly, I don't think they're getting. I still think they're a great team and piloted by a great player. They still, because they're not like a staple at tournaments, they'll still catch you out. And the problem is, if you're playing in a tournament, it's when they're at their, like, if you're playing casually, it's a team it's hard to play casually. It's kind of like Phobos. Like, it's a team that if you're playing it and you're playing at a tournament setting and someone says, I move there, I target that person, I'm going to shoot, and you go, haha, you can't. You've got to be within 2 inches. And then the person, if you're playing casually, you're just like, oh, well, I wouldn't do that then. But in a tournament, you get stung with it every time, and you're just like, you've got to know that that's coming. You can't take a game against them casually. You have to play even a casual game as if you're playing a tournament game.
Yes.
Because you've really got to be like, when have they used that yet? They can only use it once, but once they use it, I can't target them. So they can, if I use my big gun to try and target someone and I don't set it up right, i.e. I don't go within like a circle, or I don't, you know what I mean? You're just going to be in trouble. And they've got a lot. I mean, they've got such nasty ploy. That strat ploy where everyone on an objective token gets to do something like shoot or fight is insane. It's insanely powerful. For that reason alone, I would put them pretty damn high in A personally. Yeah. But the fact that they can add stuff to get like, you know what, that team, the only team, as much as I hate on them, they're the only team that have done Flamers justice.
Yeah,
like the Inferno token.
Yeah.
The Inferno token's it's the only team that's done Flamers right, where it's like there's a reason why you might take a Flamer because they're good. But yeah, I think they are a solid team. They're maybe I'm wrong on this, but my local Met hasn't seen a load of them.
Same.
But they are great teams still, and they've got a bunch of tricks. Yeah, they have a like a series of gotchas, offensive and defensive, which is an odd one to see. Like the whole you can't fire at me, and by the way, this pistol is unlimited range and it's plasma, and it's just like you've got to always be thinking what they might be doing, and that makes it a hard team to play against. So for me, I'd put them behind Nemesis Claw. I'd put them right up there, close to the top of A.
You think before Star Striders?
That's pretty close. Star Striders.
I was thinking just after Star Striders, so yeah, I'm happy with that. Reese,
I can see behind it. I don't mind that.
I would go just ahead because I think they're one of those teams too. You get punished for not knowing what they do, and they do a lot.
You really do.
I think, as you said, like the ability to turn the plasma pistol to a plasma gun. Things like that. Their ability to, they've just got so many tricks and things that ruin your plans. Star Striders do it well, but I think they just do it just a bit better. And for having good flamers, they get to go just ahead of the Star Striders for doing flamers justice.
For doing the extra brownie points for doing flamers justice.
All right, there we go. All right, we're getting there. We're making some headway. We got 2, 4, 6, 8 teams left. Let's go. Come on.
Let's speed run these bad boys.
All right.
Quick fire. Let's go.
Hyrotech.
Ooh,
let's go Hyrotech.
Yep.
No.
S.
Maybe, actually.
So, some people think S. Some people think S.
I kind of said a quick fire, but maybe I don't think that.
Was that
if we're talking serious, that was a bit loose fire. I think they're great.
I'd go right behind Mandrakes.
Yeah, I'd take near the top of A.
So you'd put them ahead of your new boys?
A jerk. Ooh.
There, Ben.
His old flame against his new flame.
Yeah.
My dueling flames.
Yeah.
The more we look at this, I think Mandrakes need to go up to S tier. They are new, but they've been crushing. I say right behind Mandrakes. They're just, I guess, to elaborate on it, they got a little. In some ways, they got a little worse, and they got a little bit better. Yeah, sideways buffs. They're more reliable in some ways, but they're not as toxic. And teams that win are toxic in a way, but I think they're excellent. I think they're very good. I think they beat a lot of the teams. Like, man, maybe Vetguard need to go lower because, like, I'm looking at them against all these teams, and it's like, gosh, without their toxicity level as high as it used to be. So I say right behind Mandrakes because they're a better team than Nemesis Claw altogether. They have, for sure.
Should we bite the bullet and put Mandrakes lower S and then just have?
Let's do it.
Take the top because A is getting quite busy.
So I think
it's getting real busy.
We bring Vetguard down to the top of B.
Hey, what's happening to Vetguard?
No. I say Vetguard is worse than the Legionaries right now. I'll say it. I'll say it right now.
So what, we go like that?
What?
Oh no, definitely not A. Definitely not A.
No, sorry, wait, it's on a bit of a delay. Sorry, I mucked up. There we go, like that.
Okay, we'll take this. I'll take
that. That'll play.
Wow.
All right. It feels, but it was right because we did Vetguard so early, and we said that they were the pace setters, and they've been caught. They've been run down by some cards.
Well, should we set Baywatch right and just throw Corsairs right in front of the top of B? Right at the front of Baywatch, a Corsairs team.
Better than
as the
Legionnaires?
benchmark. I think so.
They have a good matchup in the Legionaries. That is for sure.
I'm not saying no to that. I think it's about right. I mean, Corsairs.
I'll accept that. That.
So we're saying Corsairs.
I don't like it, but I'll accept it.
after Mandrakes are the next best elf team.
Oh yeah, and well, we haven't. We're missing Blades of Cain. I don't think they're going to.
No, I don't think they're
I'll
going
be honest,
that
guys.
up.
I don't know anything about Blades of Cain. If you guys could tell me anything about their power level, I'll be like, yeah, sounds good, boys. Let's do it.
APL 3, but
they're doing all right. 53% is their.
That's pretty decent.
Rate,
that's a great. That's a great win rate.
That's putting
for
him
who, Corsairs?
For Blades of Cain.
Blades of Cain.
Putting him just behind Hunter Clade and just behind Corsairs. So they're probably. Go on.
I say we put them either right behind the dwarves or in front of the dwarves. Dwarves could probably deserve to get moved down.
I'm nearly feeling dwarves here now.
Okay, do it.
Wow.
I relent.
What is happening? You think the Blades of Cain would be better than the Hearthkin at the moment?
I don't know, dude. I honestly don't know.
Yes,
so.
they are, but
You know
win
what?
rate suggests
Swap
it.
them. Put the dwarves back, and then put Blaze of Cain at the top of C.
Do you know
Short
what?
King supremacy.
chaos.
Reverse it. Switch it up.
Sandy's
Hell.
in the chat saying they're an Aquaman, and we've now got them in Conan.
Looks good to me.
The issue I have, and I'm like both of you, I have played them none times. So
yeah, I've never even seen them in the
I can't
wild.
weigh in and be like, no, you guys are wrong. I don't really know. They just haven't been played much. I haven't played much. I've seen a few games online of them, but that's it.
Yeah.
And obviously their win rate suggests they're good, but even I just don't feel like they get talked about very much.
They don't. I've not seen them in a tournament for a while. I'm sure they've been at them, but I've not seen them, and that probably for a good reason. Like that, as far as operatives go, there's not a lot of change in the operatives. I mean, they've got some decent shooting, double shooting, and some decent combat. I don't know.
All right,
I've not played them myself.
Yeah, and I think that's giving us a bit of trouble. Is that we don't know. I mean, the other options, we just put them here in B because I think putting a team in B in Baywatch is saying that they're in a good spot. They're not awesome. They're not bad.
I mean, the win rate suggests that they're almost a high B.
Yeah,
They're 55. But I think in our tier list, if none of us are that sure on them, we can't really.
I feel bad putting them on a C, and because I feel that doesn't do them justice. But low B with us saying, more research to be done.
Cool.
All right.
Okay. That feels good.
Pathfinders.
What about Pathfinder? Just S tier. Get it over with.
I was going to say, I think we need even S tier.
Do we need to waste our breath on why these guys are so good? Gosh, man.
Above Geller, behind Fell, or are they above Fell?
Are they better than Commandos?
I think they're behind Command. I think they're behind Commandos.
Okay.
I still think they're behind Commandos.
With Beta Decima part of the equation now.
Yeah.
I think Geller Pox, maybe maybe right after. Yeah, maybe right after Commandos, you think?
Yeah, I reckon I would say that I think they're just a team that's so consistently good. Through many iterations, many buffs, debuffs, buffed again. I'm comfortable with them being there.
Cool.
All right.
Sounds good.
Kasrkin.
C. Easy C.
C?
Easy C.
Easy C. Totally.
Okay.
But I mean, they did get a buff. But where in C? If they go in C, are we thinking mid C?
Are they better?
They have some horrible matchups, but
Are they better or worse than Scouts? What do we think?
Ooh.
Oh, they could do some damage to Scouts. I know that much. I
mean, they're going to die to those shotguns. I mean, everything dies to those shotguns.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I would say I'd have them above Hand of the Archon.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think I'd have them ahead of Harlequins.
I would.
You would? Okay.
I think Harlequins are real bad right now, guys. I think they're in a hard spot. I'm real low on them.
So maybe just behind Scouts then.
Okay. Yeah.
Russ, right. You're all right with that?
I've not played them a bunch. But
I said they're one of those teams. They shoot so well, but they're still, there's just some awful matchups for them too. There's some real good ones, but there's some real bad ones.
Yeah, they're so one dimensional. Like there's just not much to them.
That's it. I mean, they're another one of those. Pathfinders are doing it well. Like Pathfinder's one dimensional, but they still manage to do okay or do awesomely. Yeah. But they just feel like a worse Pathfinders.
Yeah.
Without the tricks.
All right. 2 left, gentlemen.
It's the Ashes of Faith.
Ashes of Faith. Not
interesting.
How do we manage this?
You know what's interesting, guys? If you look at things, did we do Blooded yet? We still have Blooded.
No.
Oh, where's Blooded? No, we haven't. Oh, somehow they got moved down there. We got 3 left.
So it's kind of interesting. You have Nightmare very close to each other. You have Beta Decima, Salvation very close to each other. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. Nachmund right next to each other.
Yeah. Let's do Yeah, let's do. You want to do Colts? Or you want to do
Colts.
position?
Let's do Colts because Colts are an interesting one because they've again copped the nerf stick for again.
Definitely not S tier.
No, I don't think they're A tier.
They're better. Oh, I think they're better than Novitiates, maybe. No. Let's go. I think they're better than Wormblade. That's where I'm sitting.
Yeah. They've still got a 57% win rate.
Oh wow, okay, better than. Can't argue that.
I played them just the other day with Nibus's Claw, and it was real tough. It was a tight one.
Okay.
I'm with you.
I think they still have teeth, personally.
Just before Star Striders, but under Novitiates.
Okay. Sure. Okay, I can take that. I've not played them once they've had their recent batch of nerfs. I know they've got a lot of late hits, but I haven't played them since to know how much that affects the playstyle.
I think they're still pretty good.
Yes.
The torments.
They were always pretty.
CP, the torments blow up and do D6 mortal wounds. Like that's pretty crazy.
Oh, it's
like
too
that happened to me. I know, but on average, we're doing like 3-4. After you have fought them, a Marine's probably on 3 or 4 wounds. You know what I mean? And so like you might be able to just take them down with you. Like just they have these little like. I think they're pretty good. I think I'm maybe a little higher on them than you guys, but I like them.
All right. So that's them. They're snuck into Aquaman. Now we'll go the Inquisitorial team, their henchmen and all.
Inquisitorial agents.
This
is
another
the most versatile team, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to hear this team because it's so versatile. It's
depending how you
breaches, it's
depending how you played, it's a different team. But their win rate reflects this 49.4. So they're very
they're very Baywatchy, aren't they?
So they are.
I think we might have to relegate them to. Okay, I think we might have to relegate them to the upper echelons of Baywatch.
That's where
maybe.
I think because I think it's that thing there. If you look at the other teams that they play with, Vet Guard, Breaches, they're all in that Baywatch tier, you know. So
that's a good point.
The other units they're bringing in, the teams they're leaning into, you know, they're those teams, but I guess better because they bring the best parts of those teams together, as well as the Inquisitorial agents who are good. You know, they've obviously got awesome heavy weapons, lots of tricks with
mission actions.
Yeah, mission actions, pumping up your offensive or defensive capability.
I think they're better than Corsairs, to be honest with you. Overall, I think they're better.
I had them either just ahead of Legionaries or just ahead of Corsairs. I had them in one of those spots.
Yeah, I'm happy to have them just if you guys want top B. Yeah,
I agree.
Top of B is good for me.
It's so weird. Like when they dropped, I to me they looked like super busted, and I guess they've been toned down. But man, they used to be like S tier, but we haven't seen it. We just haven't seen it.
And again, the popularity of when they did appear busted, or the belief that they were. Again, now we're seeing their play go down a bit, but those that are playing them are actually playing them really, really well. So, Lapscale in the chat said it's actually a good time to play Ashes of Faith now because both teams aren't bonkers anymore. They're both in they're a bit more reasonable spots now. It's true. All right, last team.
Ended on a high note. Russ, you got to lead us in here.
Boys, Russie, this is you, baby.
Yeah, personally,
S.
And I love them. No, not S. No, I think they're in a good position, but by good position, I mean sitting pretty next to Corsairs, maybe above Legionaries for me.
Okay.
Above Legionaries, for sure. I agree with you.
Yeah. I think it's that's kind of the position I would see them. They've got some great matchups. They've got some decent strategy into everything, but they're still a squishy team. They can be taken down, but they've got, you know, a lot of different use. They're probably more melee than they are shooting based on their 4-up, but the blooded tokens help. So they've got some, they can, like, late game, they've got some great shooting late game if you've managed to keep them alive. But yeah, you can double tap, but if your opponent's used to blooded, they'll stop that. So it's one of those ones where it's like, it's if they've played blooded and they played blooded like against blooded a lot, you're gonna be up against a harder challenge. But they've still got a lot of tools in their toolkit. So yeah, for me, it'd be the top end between Corsairs and Legionaries personally.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're better
Feels
than
pretty good.
Corsairs. I like them better than Corsairs.
Okay, put them ahead of Corsairs.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean,
having
hell
played
yeah.
against Corsairs a bit, again, not talking top table nonsense, but in terms of just there's a reason I think Blooded haven't been messed with much in pretty much any. I think have they even had any changes with the data slates or anything? I don't think they've ever been.
Never a single tweak.
Only stuff that affects every team.
Yeah, that's it. Like I just feel like they're one of those teams they just got right. Yes, their tack and strategic ploys are a bit meh, but overall the team balance and the team dynamic, they've got that great thing of high number of operatives. They've got some interesting units like the Ogren and the Enforcer, so a bit of flavor and that ability. Yeah, a bit of fun to build lists as well with Augeus Take 4, GA2 guys. They trade so well. That's my favorite part about them is they're just you every time you're getting your opponent to trade and they're so good at getting that, you're just winning or you're feeling good about it. They don't have the ceiling of a lot of like the S tiers. I don't think anything's broken with them. But yeah, I just think they're a great team.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what needs I'm thinking over here.
Any tweaks?
I'm thinking, and I don't know if I've said it yet, but I'm thinking Dune tier is looking a little empty. And it looks like it looks like Intercession is ready to go to the beach. That's what I say.
Wow.
Russ, what do you reckon? Do you agree with him? Do you think there's not enough beaches in the land of Conan? Or because that means they're dropping below Justian. So you're saying Justian stays, but Intercession goes.
I really believe that Justian is a better team. The only
I don't think they play the game as well. I just don't think they play the game.
What does Intercession do well? Nothing. They do nothing well.
Well, they've got like 6 operatives that can move 6 inches and fight twice. Like they could all move 6 inches and then shoot twice. If you load them up that way, you've got access to blast and AP, and you're not shabby in combat at 3-4. But you don't want to be in there. You want to disengage and shoot twice. And you know what? You can do that. I just think it's hard to overlook 2 lots of 4 attacks hitting on 3-3-4, and you're not going to be hitting that softly either. You'll be shooting with the guy who's got the extra bolts with the lethal. You know what I mean? You'll be tooled up. I just think it's so reliable. Their shooting, it's so reliable. That's why it's better than Justian team, because turn 1 you can pump out a lot of shots, whereas Justian, they'll shoot with a sniper, but he's not moving. And the heavy bolt is not going to get in position to shoot because he's 2-inch movement anyway. So he's going to dash and shoot, but it's just they can't also get the objectives as well. And because you've got rapid, you can just cover a lot more ground. And extra inch movement does count. Durable gives them extra hit, but like the sheer access to the chapter tactics does make them just a little bit more flavorsome. I'll happily put Justian into the desert.
Yes.
I can let them wander the desert.
I don't see it.
Is this because you're mad about the last game?
Chat, help me out.
Okay, we'll leave the chat. The chat can decide this. Vote now, Intercession or Justian. Whoever you're voting for is to cast them to the desert.
One of them's going. Someone has to go. Someone has to go.
One of those teams is going, Intercession or Justian. Let's see what we've got. And whoever gets the most votes in the next couple of seconds will say. And if no one votes... Oh, we've already got 1 vote. So
Sandal, what have you done?
Sandy. Yes, Sandy. Yes, Sandy, baby. Yes. Justian's going to the desert.
While the chat has a chance to vote.
Oh, so Drone's saying exaction. They're not as bad as exaction.
Well, they're saying, exaction's already there. He's saying, well, yeah, they'll be ahead of exaction, but they'd still be in the desert. They'd still be in the dunes.
Yeah.
Is there any other teams while the chat has a bit of a chance?
Justian, guys, what are all you Europeans doing? What are all you Europeans? You still drink, fill to your eyeballs with tea over there or something.
Ben's ideas are bad. Ben's ideas are bad. Let's put Justian down.
It looks like I have been. Can I get 1 vote in the chat for Intercession?
No,
because you guys are crazy. I will concede.
He's going to get casual war gamers. There you go.
I will get. Don't go with Ben's idea. Leave Doom with just 2 teams. Man, I really think Intercession sucks so bad. Intercession sucks so incredibly bad. Listen to my last pitch for this, okay? At least with Justine, you have Justine. He's got a 4-up invuln. He's got 15 wounds. He's got a power fist on 3s with 5 attacks. Shut up, Reese, in the chat. He's got a plasma pistol hitting on 2s, right? This is a tank. He alone is enough to carry them higher, just, by the way, incrementally higher, not much higher, but he is the just a little bit more sauce that carries the team higher than Intercession. Sure, you have 2 more guys who can move 6 inches and shoot twice, but guess what? Who are they shooting? No one, because in this economy, you're getting out-activated so poorly, you need somebody who can punch through and break the ranks and get a reliable double kill, right? How many reliable double kills are you getting with Intercession? Not that many. You might get lucky. Does their shooting stack up? Is it good? Sure, I will give you that. By volume, it is good. But the chapter tactics are just not that good. Everybody defaults to Rapid and the other one just because it's the best, I guess. That is the reaction to it. We'll take them, I guess. And so I think Justine is just a little push they need. Also, the heavy bolter guy, is he Brother awesome at shooting? Yeah, whatever is Achilles. Brother Achilles, whatever. He can stand on a point and take damage, right? Like, so this is my pitch. He's got a lot of wounds. My pitch. I recognize that all of you are determined to be wrong, and I accept it. But that is my final pitch.
Is Intercession accepting it? This is what Ben looks like accepting it. It sounds like it sounds like you're standing on that ship, just going down, being like, and another thing is the water gap.
That is absolutely me. I am filled. Speaking of Intercession, I'm filled with shock and awe at the fact that Intercession are in Conan tier right now. But I yield my time.
That's the worst capitulation I've ever seen in my life. Hey, this is good though. This is because that some of these teams are, as you said, it's some of them with our list, with everyone's tier list. That's it. There's granularity in everything. There is room to argue or shift or all these spaces. I mean, this is just our Gestalt entity as we are, the three of us, doing our darndest.
Truth be told, the difference between bottom of C and top of D is not that.
That's it.
It's not like it's a giant chasm. Sandal, I just want to recognize that Sandal is trying to bait me into another rant, and I'm resisting. I'm not going to give it to him. You voted for Justine, so you don't get another rant. I'm not going to give in.
Look, overall, I think that's a pretty darn tootin' good tier list there. I think we've done pretty well in the time we've done. Thank you for the chats. We appreciate everyone joining in and sharing your thoughts there. And obviously we'll have to do another one of these when we get the next data slate. I'm sure things will...
tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Now we've done this. Yeah.
if history serves, it'll be as soon as we've released the video.